Oh, how was that for an inelegant fade out? Hello, everyone, and welcome. And what is up, gamers? Hello, friends. Hope you're having the loveliest of lovely days. It's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to see y'all. And hello. Is my chatbot working? Let me just double check that my chatbot's working. Let's go exclamation mark egg. Did it work? Yay! It did. Fabulous. Hi, everybody. Hope you're having beautiful Thursdays. Hope everything is going well. It's lovely to see y'all, as always. It's wonderful to be here. I hope you've had good weeks as well. I'm trying to remember what I did this week, if I did anything. I'm sure I did. Can I remember? Can I hack? Of course not. That would be sensible of me. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Is my art camera... Where's my... There I am! Takes me a minute to pop in, which I find very fun and and funny, which is great. Anyways, hello turnip, welcome on in. Hope you're having a beautiful day. It's wonderful to be here. Get a load of these little berries. Oh, what is this? This is liquid cement for gluing things that wasn't quite fully capped there. It was a little bit loose, so I've just tightened that up a little bit. I don't know how much of it has evaporated out. This is not my cement, for clarity. I don't actually know what it's for or what it does. I assume it's some kind of adhesive. The name would certainly suggest that, but question marks. Anyways. Hi. I'm just letting Blue Sky know that we're live. Plurp. And, ready to go. I hope that y'all are liking these Bearries so far. I am genuinely having a lot of fun with them. Obviously, they are nowhere near done, which is why we are, doing them again today. I think sometimes because, you know, I'm trying to carve out a little part of the world where I am allowed to be a person who is creative for, at the very least, parts of a living, if not a living. It's sometimes kind of difficult to allow myself to just do stuff that's like, that I don't necessarily, you know, see and be like, I am 100% monetizing this. But I also think that letting yourself be completely led as a creative person by, is this project going to be able to potentially be sold, is like just a ticket, a one-way ticket to soul destruction junction. And I don't want art to be that for me. I want it to be something that, you know, feels like a safe place where I can express myself and feel good, and not just a place where I'm concerned about, is this going to be, you know, something that I can, like, monetize in the sense that, like, oh, this is going to be a sticker sheet, this is going to be a keychain, this is going to be, I don't know, an Oscar-winning film. I want to just be able to make stuff, and not worry about all those kinds of things, which is really hard. Which is really, really, really hard. But I just wanted to draw these little guys for fun, and so we're gonna paint them. Yeah, I have not filled my water cup, but I do have a beverage water here featuring, for some reason, Deadpool. This water has a pH of 9, so it is somewhat basic, but not so basic that it will cause you, like, burns, but like a good safe amount of basic to consume. Not this water. This water came out of my tap, but I also question, like, so I bought, like, a fresh bottle of this. They don't have the Deadpool branding on them anymore, which is, I don't know, fine, I guess. But it happened to be a cheap large bottle of water at my supermarket yesterday morning when I needed a breuvage. And I noted on the ingredients list, they say that it has a pH of 9 and that it has, like, essential electrolytes in it. So it's got, you know, sodium chloride, which you may recognize is salt, which is useful if you are doing things that you're gonna sweat and then you need to replenish your salt levels. That's good. Also, potassium chloride, similar to salt. So much so that you can buy low sodium salt that's just potassium chloride, and it tastes like salt. I'm so sorry for the hiccups. I don't know where those have come from. I'm gonna try and get rid of them with by drinking some water. Mm. Ah, tastes like the taps of Oxfordshire. Delicious. But yeah. So it's got like some salts in it, and I think maybe magnesium as well. And it's like, yeah, these are all really good ingredients. But if there was like, I feel like if there was an amount of certainly, I don't know what magnesium tastes like, but certainly the chlorides I know taste salty, and the water just tastes like regular water. So it it begs the question to me of like how much are these electrolytes actually going to make a difference to like my body. If for instance I'm real sweaty or something and I'm losing a lot of electrolytes, are they really going to make a difference if I can't discern that they're in my beverage, you know? Because certainly, like, if you've ever had a sports drink like a Gatorade or a Lucozade Sport or something like that, it has that little like something to it. Like, it doesn't taste explicitly salty, but I think part of the reason that it doesn't taste super explicitly salty to me is that it also has like sugar and sweeteners in it and flavors that kind of, you know, diminish the salty flavor of it, because there's definitely some salt type substances in there. I don't know. But anyways, it just kind of feels like now I have to say, like, this water is not any more expensive than like standard bottled water, so I don't feel like, oh, you know, like I'm being ripped off by it or anything, because it was a quite big bottle and it was like £1, which is pretty normal where I am. It's that, which still feels too expensive for water, but whatever. You're paying for the convenience when you don't have access to like a tap. But what was I gonna say? It's just, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's just weird. I think it's I think it's a bit silly nonsense, but I mean there's always a lot of things out there that kind of feel like silly nonsense. Certainly in like the doses that they put a lot of, you know, like special ingredients into things you can get at the supermarket. Do you remember when like they were putting charcoal in everything because it's supposed to help cleanse you? And I mean, that's true in as much as they give you charcoal if like you've ingested, say, if you drank way too much alcohol that you've made yourself legit sick and have to go to the hospital, they'll give you charcoal to make you be sick, to get that out of you. Um, but also, you shouldn't have charcoal if you take like medications, because it can inhibit their absorption into your bloodstream, which you want your medications to get absorbed into your body so that they can help you be healthy. So, but that being said, and literally anyone else doesn't need to be cleansed as intensively as charcoal would. And if it's not like, if it's in smaller doses, it's probably not really doing anything beneficial to sort of regular semi-healthy people anyway. It's just, but I did kind of love it at the time because I could buy a bottle of lemonade that looked incredibly goth. And, you know, it's £4 for like a 500ml bottle, but you feel badass when you're drinking it. So that's a win, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know how this ramble got started. This is a really stupid ramble. But here we are. I want to start adding some, like, little toe beans and noses and, muzzly bits to these bears. So I think I'm gonna use my, actually, no, I'm not gonna use this brush. I'm gonna use, whoop. Sorry, I banged the mic. Is everyone okay? Is everyone okay? I'm so sorry. I'm going to use this brush, actually, which is kind of a mid-sized brush. This brush has actually been giving me a bit of grief lately because there are a couple of bristles of it that just want to stick out and will not sort of be pushed back into place. I'm honestly wondering if I should just like get a tiny pair of scissors and just trim those, because they do sometimes get in the way when I'm trying to paint things. It's a perfectly good brush otherwise. It just has this like these like 3 bristles that just want to stick out the wrong way, and no matter how many times I've tried to like guide them back into the correct position, they just get stuck sticking out all sort of wiggity wonky. So yeah, if you'll bear with me for just a second, I'm gonna get a tiny pair of scissors and fix this because it's gonna bother me if I do not. So be right back. Oh my god. Oh, this is so stupid. What am I doing? Okay, so these are in fact my sewing scissors. So they're normally used to cut threads, but also can we just appreciate how stinking cute these scissors are? I know this is like a not uncommon scissor design, but I just think they're really cute. It's a burb! Look, it's a burb! And the scissor bits are its beak. How cute is that? I love this bird with my whole heart. It's so special. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a little trimmy trim. Oh, this is kind of terrifying. But I'm just going to go around it because I can't really see where they are super well, and just go snippety snip. Ah, that's got all of them, I think. I think that's gotten all of them. There was literally just like 2 or 3 little bits of bristle that were just sticking out on the sides that were really, really just bothering me. And now they are not, and it's nice and clean and tidy and fine. So I don't know why I didn't do that months ago, honestly, because I feel so much more calm knowing that, you know, sort of errant bristles are not gonna F up my paintings. The only thing that can F up my paintings now is me, and that's the way I prefer it. Anyways, in case you're curious, this is the palette that we're using today. It's the same palette we were using last time, but just in case you missed it last time, this is the Japanese Retro Gansai 1940s themed palette from Choosing Keeping. So these watercolor paints are made in Japan by a paint maker that has been very well established. I think they've been making paints for over a century. And they are gorgeous. And I really like them. I have 3 of the palettes from this like decades themed set that they do. I have the 1930s palette, which has a really sort of like warm set of colors, and then I have the 1980s palette, which is genuinely just insanity. It goes from like a really soft pale peach and like a beautiful sky blue and a really deep sort of like a warm magenta kind of color to like an orange so fluorescent it will not read correctly on any camera. Does not read correctly on the webcam. The webcam like dials it down a few notches, and the scanner straight up cannot cope with it. Something about the fluorescence of the pigments my scanner cannot cope with. It does not understand them. It's very funny. But this palette, the 1940s, I don't know exactly what the inspiration was for it, but it's just a really nice set of largely, I think, sort of straight ahead colors with some interesting twists. So I find it really nice to work with. I really love this sort of like, I don't know, like dirty sort of teal color. This like very verdant green, this indigo, which is really nice, kind of subtle, but then you've got this really intense like lapis blue. It's just gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Anyways, and quite a cool toned red as well, which is really fun. Anywho, hello Aoife, welcome in. How are you doing? It is wonderful to see you. Welcome, welcome. How is your Thursday going? Welcome on in. Hello, hello. My Thursday has been going okay, I think. I had a task that I had to brainstorm for, and I was really struggling to come up with something that would be an acceptable answer for this form I had to fill out. And I think I killed about an hour trying to figure out what to put, and like googling stuff and just feeling like this is pointless. This is all so pointless. But I have to put down an answer. It was one of those kinds of things. Um but eventually I got there. I had a coffee this afternoon that was so good. It's absolutely delicious. It is the it's from Full Court Press in Bristol, who roast some really nice coffees, and this one in particular is from Brazil. And I do like a lot of coffees that come from Brazil. You get a lot of very cozy, I think, very comforting notes from the Brazilian terroir, which I find very enjoyable. Um, but yes, Eva says, I'm doing great. I'm so glad to hear it. That is fantastic. Very, very glad to hear it. Yay. um, I was trying to think of like a question for the chat today. And I just kind of, I think, I logged onto Twitter to tell Twitter that I was going live, and I just saw a sequence of like 6 tweets in a row that were all incredibly bleak, like news and current events, and I just thought, uh, I just need one thing that is a source of joy from you right now, and you're not delivering this social medium. And so I guess my question for the chat is, what is one thing that you have seen or done or experienced this week that has brought you joy? If you would like to share with us. Um, Personally, I had a little bit of time yesterday in a coffee shop. Um, it was like a chain coffee shop. So, and when I go to chain coffee shops, I tend to um prefer to get silly drinks. That's like my silly drink time, is if I go to a chain coffee shop that has all the syrups and whipped cream and all that jazz. So I got myself a white chocolate mocha, and it was absolutely delightful. It was incredibly sweet, but oh gosh, it was really nice. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, well that's not so nice, but it's fixable. Um, but yeah, and while I was there, I did a little sketch just for my Patreons of a little something nice. And I had a really nice time sketching it. So yeah, that's what I got up to. It was good. It was a nice time, and I think it was exactly what I needed that day. Why is it connecting via the Wi-Fi? It's plugged into a USB. Why? No. Ugh. Okay. I think I need to close out of this, reopen this, and then reopen the app on my camera. I think that's what I need to do. Hopefully then they'll pick. Yes. Okay. It's on the USB now. Oh, thank gosh. Okay. All right. Hopefully it will be displaying again on stream. Yay, we're back. Okay, fabulous. uh, I'm so sorry, everyone. It really is a little bothersome when that happens. And I do apologize, but we are back, and finally I can do some painting. Turnip says, I can't think of anything to add to the question, not because this week has been lame or anything. I'm just failing at memory. That's fair. Maybe I can also ask what's something that you plan to do in the near future that will bring you joy. And I do hope that everyone in the chat is able to do something that makes you happy. Do something fun for yourself. Um you should do that every day, honestly. So I hope that you're able to do so. I'm gonna mute the mic just for a second because I need to blow my little nosy woes, and I do not want to assault you with that into the mic. So one moment. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, the other thing that happened to me yesterday was I was walking along and I crossed the paths of a parent and their child and their dog, and their dog was like it was like a blonde, fluffy dachshund, and I'd never seen a dachshund in this sort of color, but like the body shape was unmistakable. So maybe it had like a mummy and daddy that were different dog breeds and just took after like the mummy's fur and the daddy's like body shape or something like that. It was one of the stinking cutest dogs I've seen in a very long time, and I see a lot of dogs, and I think they're all cute dogs, so that's saying something. Aoife says, I was visiting a friend's place. Her place is amazing view, almost all around the flat, pretty remote, nice woodland park. Got a ton of plant babies from her. Oh, bless. When I say plant babies, think Newfoundland puppies. I got Monstera cutlings. Oh, nice. Very nice. Love that for you. Hell yeah. This is unbearably cute, says Briefcase full of bees. Thank you. Thank you so much. Also, hello. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Teehee. Teehee. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can try and paint in these little guys' little, like, nosy, muzzly bits. Which I'm just gonna do similar in color to the rest of them, I think. So this one I'm doing in a nice golden orange color. I can't remember what the... I think they... Oh, what's this? This is washed vermilion, is this orange. Which I tend to think of vermilion as being more like a very orangey red, whereas this is like brightest pumpkin to me. I would call this color like bright pumpkin personally. Like that doesn't say vermilion to me. But I don't know. I don't know much about how like the vermilion pigment is made or what it comes from. So maybe this is the same pigment that is used to make vermilion, but just they've done something different to it and it arrives at this like very sort of flame orange kind of color, which is gorgeous. Apropos bees, says Aoife. Do go on. I am an apiary enthusiast. I think bees are very special and important, and I love them with my entire heart. Did you know that most bees are actually allergic to pollen? When they are exposed to it, they start developing hives. I'm Thank you. Thank you for the sensible chuckle. That was amazing. Oh my goodness. I don't know where I thought that was going. That was so good. What a fun fact, this briefcase full of bees. I wholeheartedly approve. Yes, I agree. Turner says, way! Yes, that is the right response. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm gonna give this matcha a bit of a stir, because sometimes some of the particulate in it has a tendency to settle. I am sorry, I was a little later than I had intended to be starting stream today, because I actually have a little, like, electric whisk to blend my matcha into my beverages. I will usually add, like, a little bit of liquid to the matcha and try and, like, dissolve it into that, and then add it to... But it had just cemented itself to the bottom of the mixing cup. And I could not get it to blend in. I even, like, ran around it with a spoon, and it was just, like, stuck on the bottom of it. So eventually, this might be a very matcha-light beverage. I don't know. No, it has an appropriate amount of matcha. Okay. I also couldn't find my regular matcha measuring spoon, so I just used this and kind of made a guesstimate. So, anyways. It worked out okay. This is an acceptable matcha. I actually think that this is eggnog matcha, which I got from the, like, seasonal Christmas teas of Bird and Blend. And it's what was I gonna say? Oh no, what was I gonna say? Come on, brain. I think it actually works better in this, like, not as good oat milk than the, like, pumpkin spice one. I cannot detect... There's supposedly nutmeg in this eggnog matcha, which is why I bought it. I cannot detect any nutmeg in it. It just tastes like a creamy matcha. But maybe that's because I add other stuff to it. Like, I add a little spoonful of maple syrup because I think it's nice. Just a little sweetness, just a little sweetness in my matcha and oat milk. I think is really nice. Um, so maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna pick up a little bit of yellow, just a little yellow, and then I'm gonna pick up a little bit of green, and I'm gonna make a little gooseberry nose color for our gooseberry. It's quite subtle, but honestly, I think subtle can be quite good as well. Yay! Hopefully, it's cute. um, let's see what do we want to do for the blackberry. I'll be honest, I don't remember what colors I used to make the blackberry color. I honestly don't remember. I'm just kind of mopping together a little bit of indigo with a touch of the red. And this is actually a little bit less purple. Or so I thought. Now that I'm putting it down on here, that's pretty dang purple. Okay, well, I'm eating my words, because that is pretty dang purple. Never mind. Okay, the purple has done some really weird stuff on this paper, which I'm really hoping I can kind of claw back, but if I can't, I don't know, we may pretend that blackberry is just doesn't exist. One moment, please, again, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness gracious. So nose blowy today, I do apologize. But anyways, yeah, I am noticing, I don't know if it's just the way that the paint is responding to this paper in particular, but certain paints in this set are sitting strangely on the paper. This is fairly regular paper. Like, this is just like Jackson's Art Shop brand paper, which I've used quite a lot. It's reasonably inexpensive and usually pretty good. But some of these paints are sitting really kind of weirdly on it. And I don't know if it's the paper or the paint. Like, if you look at the edges on the purple, it's like, I didn't outline that. It's just, it kind of, a lot of the pigment just kind of ran to the edges and sat there for unknown reasons. And it looks a little bit weird. But it's not insurmountable. But then other ones, like, the edges are very, like, scrunkly, I would say. They have really scrunkly edges in places. Like, even though I'm sort of using nice, good brush strokes with a good brush, it's just sort of going when it goes down on the paper. And kind of, it's like the wet paint is kind of like beading on top of the paper instead of just sort of like getting on in there. And I don't know why. I don't know why. It might be something about like the binders that they're using or the pigments. I have no idea. I've had paints occasionally do that before. Absolutely no idea. I could probably just like Google search, why is my paint doing X plus Reddit and immediately find an answer. I do appreciate that, honestly, in this day and age, with the state of like search engines and websites and what have you, I genuinely, if I have just like a weird question about like, why is my paint doing this? Or what does this perfume ingredient smell like? I will just look up like, like the paint effect that I'm experiencing, Reddit. Or, perfume ingredient smells like, Reddit. And then I will find someone who has asked that question on Reddit and have had a whole bunch of people who know about this stuff come in and be like, oh yeah, it's this. So, I guess thanks to them for that. I hear some people saying that like, oh, Reddit is a terrible place and everyone on it is terrible. And I'm like, I don't think that's true, but I feel like also I hear that about a lot of websites and social media where it's not necessarily my experience. Like people being like, oh, there's nothing good on Twitter. There's no one good on Twitter. Twitter is just full of nothing but scum. But you know, you're having a very different siloed experience of the internet to the siloed experience of the internet that I'm having, because all I see on Twitter are like pictures of pirates. Because I'm following people who mostly post pictures of pirates, you know? Likewise, you know, like back in that, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but Tumblr, um, in I think it was 2018, they changed their terms of service so that you weren't supposed to post um like adult content anymore. And wholly unbeknownst to me, a long time at that point Tumblr user, um there were entire like blogs and like subcultures on there entirely devoted to posting like pictures of adult content, which I never saw on Tumblr. And I was there a lot. I was seeing, like, you know, pictures of things about history and TV shows I like. Um, and so if you'd asked me, like, what is the main thing on Tumblr, I'd be like, oh, probably talking about TV and films that we like. But no, apparently there was a lot more to it than that. And that's just because there is a large user base on these sites, and they're, you know, you can just fall into different communities who are talking about different things and rarely intersect with other very siloed communities on these big sites. And I think that's really interesting, but I think it also develops this idea that just because you are like aware of something that seems ubiquitous, it doesn't necessarily mean it's ubiquitous to anyone else, you know? Um, like when I see people talking about like, oh, everybody knew what this guy was all about, you know, if we find out that like, I don't know, a YouTuber was secretly racist the whole time or something, and I'm like, okay, he may have had 10 million followers, but none of those followers were me. I didn't know who this man was until he got media attention for needing to make an apology. So no, some people didn't know about this. Please don't make me feel bad about not knowing who that person was. I can guarantee you that like my parents don't know who any famous YouTubers are, whether or not they need to make an apology. It's such a weird, but I think when something seems like it's everywhere within your sphere, it's easy to assume that it's everywhere for everybody else. It's probably not. Even things that seem like they have attracted the attention of like millions of people, that's still millions of people in the grand context of the whole world is not that many people. Like, it's really not. And there are definitely some people on YouTube who are buying followers, so they might not even have as many as it looks like they do. Anyways, that's not me. The number of followers I have on YouTube is the exact number of followers I have on YouTube because it's not very many. Anyways, also I hope I never do anything that I have to apologize for. But if I do, I'm really sorry. Genuinely. This is jasmine tea, in case you're curious. Oh, it's very good. Anyways, I do have a VOD channel, by the way, where I post all of these streams after they're done. I say after they're done. I post them usually a couple of weeks after they're done because I have to go through and edit out the like interstitial music. I don't know if that's the right word. But I have to edit out the bits that have music in them because I'm not licensed to use the music on that YouTube channel. I'm only allowed to use the music on one YouTube channel, and that's my other YouTube channel where I post like actual videos that I make. But yes. So yeah, if you want to see eventual VODs that don't expire, you can go watch my YouTube channel. There's no like material benefit for me for you to do that, in as much as like the channel isn't monetized or anything. So I hope you don't have to see any. I hope you don't get served ads when you watch my VOD channel, because I am not getting any of that ad money if you do. Okay. We have a tittle blueberry nose. And now it is strawberry time. This is so silly. This is so deeply silly. This is one of the silliest things I've done, I think. But you know, I like silliness, and I like these little creatures. I like that strawberry is so like they just look very no thoughts, head empty here, and I love that for them. Turnip says, I think there are still ads, but still some because Google are mean. Boo! That's so rude. Bit rude of them not to give you the ad revenue, says Samantha. I wholeheartedly agree. I don't get any money from YouTube at the moment. In order to receive, in order to like hit the monetization threshold for YouTube, you have to have a combination of at least 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, and also at least 4,000 watch hours over the space of a year. Which I ain't hitting at the moment. I think I have about like maybe 170 subscribers on my main YouTube channel, which is right here. If I can spell correctly. There we go. It's pretty small. I upload fairly sporadically. Because I keep doing things that are like quite involved and take a little bit of time to actually produce. Which means hopefully that they're all interesting and fun. But also means that because I would be able to churn one of these out like probably every month if I didn't also have like a job. That's the problem. Is that I also have to have a normal job. Mash, thank you very much for the posture check. +1 unshrimp request coming in, please. Oh my goodness. Ow. Oof. Oh, I'm lengthening my spine and it doesn't like it, but it's doing me good. Also, hello, Mesh. Thank you very much. How are you doing? It's wonderful to see you. And I am, for once, sitting upright. Thank you. Also, paint water sip. Is it okay if I sip this matcha instead? It looks kind of grubby as well. So, hopefully that counts. Don't sip actual paint water. Okay, thank you. Do sip actual paint water, says Samantha. No! We have actual water. We have actual just regular, like, tap water. I know it says ACT pH, but it's just tap water. I just refill the bottle because it's a nice, robust bottle. And I've discovered that I am way more likely to just drink water if it has been in the fridge, because it's much nicer when it's very cold, and it just doesn't get cold enough when it's just from the tap. I don't like water straight out of the tap. It's icky. Or somehow sipping it out of a water bottle, I can just kind of chug a little bit. It's better. The leaf water tastes like dirt, says Cass. What, matcha? Also, hi Cass, and welcome on in. How are you doing? Lovely to see you. This matcha supposedly tastes like eggnog, but mostly it's in oat milk with some maple syrup, so mostly it tastes just like creamy and a little bit sweet. And I assume that it's kind of good for me, so I love that for me. Samantha says, for every shoulder angel, there must be a counterbalancing shoulder devil. Oh dear. Match says Samantha on her villain arc, I see, yes. Apparently she is, or at least in the name of balance. The law of universal balance. Okay, well thank you for keeping things balanced. Yes. Anyways. Cassa says, you sound so Canadian, and then water. Yeah, I know. Like, but what is my accent anymore? I don't know. There will reach a point where I'm visiting Canada, and they'll be like, oh, what part of Europe are you from? I just know it. Like, I just know that that's going to happen one day. Things just, I think I've absorbed a couple of, like, little phonemic instances entirely by accident, just because, just because I've had to attempt to be normal, and trying to be normal in the context of being an immigrant living in another country is just kind of saying things a little bit more like some of the people around me so that they don't look at me funny or think I'm American. Anyways, oh no, Cass says, hi friends, I'm suffering, but we soldier on. I'm so sorry to hear that you're suffering. I hope that you are unsuffering soon. I wish I could take the suffering, wrap it up in a little piece of tissue paper, and put it in the bin. Very much I do. I'm so sorry. I hope that you are feeling better much, much, much better much soon. Samantha says being on my villain arc implies I was ever not a villain. I thought we were just I thought we were friends. Are we? I hope we're friends. I hope I'm not presupposing things in assuming that we're friends. Are we friends? I hope we're friends. Anyways, no pressure. Obviously, if you don't want to be my friend. Anyways, Mesh says since it's watercolor, wouldn't the paint water be unproblematic to drink except for the taste, of course? I mean, I'm sure it's largely non-toxic, but do I want to take that risk? No. We are friends with Samantha. Yay! I'm so happy we're friends. Samantha is not a villain and never was, says Mesh. I am just also a villain. She says, be gay, do crime. Sounds villainous to me. I feel like there are certain be gay, do crimes that feel a little bit... What am I trying to... I mean, is Snufkin a villain? Snufkin is like the embodiment of be gay, do crimes, but I would say he's not a villain. He's just a lovely little guy. And I don't know, a mild subtextual love interest. Anyways, can I do crimes if I'm just an ally, or do I need a gay person accompanying me to do the crime? That's a good question. Do you need like a gay chaperone in order to do a be gay, do crimes if you yourself are not gay? I feel like maybe get involved with like a be gay, do crimes group in your local area and see if they need some volunteers. Snufkin is the most villainous of villains, is he now? Aww. Yes, straight people may partake in crime, but only with a gay chaperone, says Samantha. I like these rules. I really like these rules. Very much I do. And I think in all things, it's always really nice to have clarity as well. So I do appreciate that also. Okay, so I think what I want to do now is I want to just give this whole bear a bit of like a glaze, I guess. Because I would like the red to be more red, like a really nice sort of juicy strawberry red. So if I can pick up some more of this yoko, as it is apparently called, and hope that it will go on as a second layer without fully lifting the paint that's already on there, which some paints really, really want to do. I know the best way to do this is when you're glazing to use like as little paint as possible, but do I have the patience to use as little paint as possible or as little water as possible? I don't know. Cassis says, be gay friend, do crime by proxy. There we go, we got there. The straight person must also make a blood oath to take the fall for the gay person should they get caught. I'm invested in these rules, I really am. Turnip, thank you so much for the lurk. Have a lovely, lovely lurk. Be straight, commit perjury. I mean, am I 100% comfortable with the things happening here in stream? Honestly, yes, because frankly, the queer communities deserve a little crime as a treat, so that's fine. Oh, isn't she lovely? Oh, this is nice. This is looking much more like the color I would like this strawberry to be. So that is great. Hopefully I don't not have enough of it to make an entire bear be red. I suspect that I don't. But we'll see how far we get before I have to dip back into the palette and then end up with the color suddenly looking like a slightly different sort of saturation and value halfway through. But hopefully that won't happen. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do that right now. Really, really quickly. Ah! Okay, let's go. Fastly, fastly. There's a question. You know how you can do things quickly? You know how quick can be an adverb, but fast doesn't. No one ever says like, oh, sort of. I ran fastly, um, to get the bus. And I always found that to be a little bit of a linguistic oversight, because I do think that being quick and being fast doesn't necessarily carry the exact same connotative weight to it, Even if nominally they mean more or less the same thing, to proceed, sort of at a speed. I feel like being quick versus being fast, not necessarily the exact same thing. Am I overthinking here? I'm probably overthinking here. But it is something that has, I think, honestly, for like years, has kind of bothered me. Quick is what brown foxes do, says Samantha. Fast is what blue hedgehogs do. Thank you. You get it. There's a difference. Mesh says, I want to do crimes enough that I'm okay with those rules. Can we do crimes that only mildly inconvenience people, like steal all their HDMI cables so their TVs don't work? If they're terrible people, then yes. But it has to be terrible people. Like, steal the HDMI cables of, like, a money-grubbing Tory MP who seeks to disenfranchise you. Because honestly, they're not going to learn their lesson, and they deserve it. Incidentally, please don't necessarily actually do any of the things I'm suggesting here for legal reasons. This is all a joke. This is purely hypothetical, and we would never do any such things. I'm saying this because I don't want to implicate myself. If anyone watches this and is like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then say the streamer told me to do it. No, I am not telling you to do it. You are a free person, and you can make autonomous decisions on your own, and I will not influence them in any way, shape, or form. I am the anti-influencer. I am not here to tell you what to do, and I won't do it. This strawberry looks so much better with, like, actual strawberry color all over it. I am loving the way this strawberry is looking. I think it looks great. One thing I am going to do real quick is, just in case I just completely make a dog's breakfast of this piece in the next, like, hour or so, I've got my phone camera out, and I am taking a picture of it so that I can remember what it's supposed to look like when I come back to it. If I have to go in and, like, fix stuff, I want to know what I'm doing with that. So I have taken a photo of this work in progress so I can see what I need to do if I need to do it. That's normal, right? No, Mesh says clip this without the part where Sammy says not to do it. No, I'm gonna have to delete this VOD now. I'm gonna have to delete this VOD and that hypothetical clip, and I'm gonna have to take this out of the VOD that I put on YouTube. Oh no, I'm scared. Oh. No, stop it. Guys, you're scaring me. I don't want to get in trouble. And I am very much one of those 40-year-old adults who lives in, like, continuous fear of getting in trouble and feels like they're not allowed to do things. Even though there's no one who's going to get me in trouble for stuff, and, like, I don't need to ask permission to do the things I want to do, when the things I feel like I'm not allowed to do are, like, produce a screenplay. No one's telling me I can't do that. Why do I feel like I'm not allowed to? I don't understand. I think that's the neurodivergence of Samantha. Yeah, I think it is. It's that, like, it's my internal rules lawyer plus, like, probably trauma. Anyways, I'm gonna BRB for a minute, because I need to calm down. I will be back shortly. Please enjoy the BRB screen in the meantime. Yeah. Oh, pretzels. Sorry about the intrusion and the exit and the return. But I'm here now. Hi. Hi. Let me catch up with chat. Because I think there are some things that I have missed. Very importantly, Aoife has made a wonderful, useful distinction between quick versus fast. and says, I kind of think doing in a short time versus having high velocity, quick versus fast. So yeah, I feel like we could use it fastly. Oh, absolutely. Like, for instance, an airplane moves very fast through the air as it travels from Hong Kong to Melbourne, but I wouldn't say it's in a short space of time. It sure would feel like it takes a long old time to get from that one place to the other place. So I wouldn't say that we traveled quickly, or it doesn't feel quickly. I suppose in the grand scheme of things versus, say, taking a boat, it's quickly. But if I'm sitting in a metal tube for hours and hours and hours on end, if I've got enough time to watch at least 2 to 3 movies, it doesn't feel like a quick journey. Even if technically the movement itself is fast. So, no, that airplane is probably moving fastly through the air over a long distance. Anyways, Samantha says, growing up neurodivergent is just a long list of trying to do things and join in social activities and not knowing the hidden rules and just being told constantly that we're doing it wrong just by existing. Oh my god, ain't that just a mood. So yeah, we maybe have a tiny bit of trauma around feeling like whatever we do, we are doing something wrong. That is a massive mood, and anyone else who feels like that, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together. I mean it. It sucks, and it's hard, but we can navigate it together, and you're all doing amazing. Honestly, just by trying to navigate, like, being a person, you're doing amazing. I was talking with my partner the other day, very hypothetically talking about, like, looking for work and looking at job postings and that kind of thing, and how, like, every once in a while something will come across my radar, and I'm like, oh, well, I can't apply for that because I don't have X amount of years experience doing this thing, or, my general experience is in a different niche to this niche. Therefore, I will not be a person that they would consider. And my moderator / spouse is like, nah, you've been working in the, sort of a similar type of workplace for years. Even if that wasn't your specific job, you can still apply for this one. And I'm like, but I don't match all of the bullet points under essential job criteria. What do you mean? And he's like, yeah, you don't have to. And I'm like, what? So are they just lying when they say you need to have all of these different traits and skills and qualifications and experience? And apparently sometimes yes. Sometimes it's a lie. But it's impossible to know which ones they're lying about and which ones they're telling the truth about. And I find this exhausting. I don't understand why you cannot just state exactly what you mean. Because when I see, this is a list of essential criteria and I do not meet those criteria, I'm going to assume you do not want me to submit a CV. But there's apparently a very good chance that actually, no, it's fine, you should just do it. I wonder if this is why apparently there's, like, a larger percentage of autistic people than, like, the general public are not in, like, regular employment. Is because we look at things like, oh, well, we don't meet all of the essential criteria for this post and then don't apply to it, when it turns out that actually essential here is just a suggestion, not a rule. I'm so mad about this, y'all. I'm so mad. Like, no, just tell me exactly what you want and I will decide whether or not I fulfill that. Don't make me guess which ones it's okay because you're actually lying to me. Just, ultimately, don't lie to me. Like, no. Mesh says, oh my god, tell me about it. I'm applying right now, and oof, it's wild. It's genuinely wild. I don't get it. It hurts. It burns us. Samantha says, just channel a tiny bit of the hubris of men. They are statistically much more likely to just apply even when they do not meet all the criteria. Oh, okay. I have a story about this. So some years ago, before I was married, I briefly lived in a flatting situation in which I rented a room in like a house, like I think maybe a 4 or 5 bedroom house with a number of women. They were specifically looking for non-male roommates. This was specified when I, like applied to live in the house. Um, and they were very specific about it, and they wanted to like meet me and sort of get a feel for like my vibe and that kind of thing before deciding whether or not they wanted to rent the room to me, which I think is a very smart move because you know having a new flatmate sight unseen, probably not great. But so when I was moving out, it was my responsibility to like place the advert for a new flatmate and sort of screen applicants for like appropriate potential people for to forward to the other members of the household. And I got of the like 6 people who replied to this ad looking for a place to live, two of them were guys. One of them just didn't mention anything about it at all. He was just like, "Hi, my name's Kevin, and I am a PhD student in organic chemistry or whatever." And the other one was like, "Now I know that the advert said that you weren't looking to rent to a man, but I think it's always kind of nice to spice things up and keep things interesting." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, buddy." I didn't reply to either of these men because they just decided that they were the exception. And newsflash, you're not. Especially if you say you're looking to spice things up. It's like, what do you think this flat is? And do you think that it is like a place to meet a girlfriend? Notwithstanding the fact that all of the women in this house were in relationships with people already. That's also none of your beeswax, and you should not be looking to date your flatmates. That's not, like, moving into, like, a shared living situation is not a dating pool. And, like, I was moving out because I was moving in with my partner, so I wasn't looking to, like, I don't know, give these people an unpleasant experience out of spite to have to, like, interact with this man, so I just nuked his email into the sun, because, like, no, screw you, buddy. Anyways, I'm not sure I want to have that kind of hubris because that man was, if I may say so myself, a dick. Pardon my French. Exclamation mark language to me. But honestly, like, that guy deserved it, so tough biscuits. Right. Checking the chat because I think I missed a bunch of stuff. Mesh says, the job criteria are so ridiculous at times. Oh, I know, right? If you'd actually fulfill everything listed, you probably need 70 years of work experience. Genuinely. I think a lot of it is, like, would like to stuff that will never come up in the space of the actual job, but they're just like, oh, you know what? It'd be really useful having someone who knows how to use, how to build a website. Okay, let's put that on there as well. Also, they need to be able to make pivot tables. I mean, I don't think anyone in this job even knows what a pivot table is, but just put it on there because it sounds good. I've made a pivot table a grand total of once in my life in, like, 2015. I could probably figure out how to do it again in the space of about 45 minutes or less, but, like, if you ask me, is an expert in making pivot tables on a job application, I would be like, oh, no, that's not me. I've only done it once and would not say that I can, even though I super can. The whole thing is just a load of old nonsense. I remember a friend of mine in their old job, they were advertising for something like a fairly junior role within the organization, like an assistant, like a marketing assistant or something. And they wanted this marketing assistant who was making less than I was as, like, a temp at the time, to have, like, 5 years experience and a graduate degree. And I'm like, good luck with that. And guess what? They didn't fill the role because that person doesn't exist. And if they do, they're not gonna, debase themselves for such a tiny amount of money. Fun. Anyway, Samantha says, I guess it is kind of nice of him to wave the giant red flag openly in the yeah, you know what? Honestly, yes. I wholeheartedly agree. At least it was right there in the application. We could just like I could just send it into space. Um, but I mean, I wouldn't have replied to that guy anyways because they specifically said we do not want to live with a guy. I don't know if that's just because they're more comfortable, you know, sort of being able to doot around the house with not like a strange man they don't know present, or they've had bad experiences with like male roommates before, you know. I don't know, but uh, this is weird. That's the only time of my life when I've had like flatmates. Um and the most tolerable part of the experience for me was that, to be honest, um I had a room where I could set up a little tea kettle, and I had my tea and I had a TV in there. So I could watch TV and I could drink tea and I didn't have to go interact with anyone else. And most of the time in the evenings, I was at my partner's house because he lived like right around the corner at the time. Um, and then I would just come back to my house to sleep. And in fact, he would also come back to my house to sleep because that rental had like a king size bed, and he was currently in a single. So, you know, definitely an upgrade. But yeah. I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all. I'm happy to be out of that. Anyways, and I've just been living with my partner for many, many years, which is kind of like having a flatmate, but it's a flatmate that you also get to kiss and um love them and marry them. So, you know, I enjoy that. Anyways, um what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I wanted to. Sorry that this is like completely out of left field, but I wanted to let you know that my shop updated yesterday. In case you missed it, I did do a shop update yesterday. Here is a link to the shop. I'm pretty happy with the new stuff that we've got in the shop, including Baby's First Shinies. I have like shiny holographic stickers, and I don't know if they're going to show up well on camera because I've got like a big overhead light right up there. So I don't know if these are going to read very well, if the light's going to make them look weird, but look at the shiny. Look at the shiny. It's all like holographic and cool and stuff. And it is shiny mermaids underwater, and I think it turned out really, really cute, and I'm really happy with it. And then I also did another one of is mermaids but bigger. I basically tried to recreate the effect of having the holographic, not holographic, the like duochrome watercolor paint on this. So for this one specifically, there's like a translucent layer under their like the mermaid tails specifically, so they like sparkle similarly to the way that they do in real life with like the paints. It's the best I can do as a like sellable piece apart from like the original artwork. And I honestly think that they look really, really cool. These remind me of this, like the holographic stickers that I used to get of like Sailor Moon in this weird Japanese sticker vending machine that I would just spend all of my money on when I was in the 8th grade. So if you're into that vibe, but it's pirates and mermaids, ta-da! I have stickers now, and it's fun. I also have an extra special limited edition Blue Raspberry Fight Milk Hollow Knight art print that is foiled in gold. So, among other things, I also have just some nice bookmarks with cozy art on them, and a couple of a new Terry print, which is very exciting if you like cozy Forg content. But yeah, that's a thing that is out now. Feel free to tell your friends. A lot of these things cost me quite a bit of money, and I would love to break even. So, yeah, this will be my last shop update of the year. So, hope you enjoy. Okay, that was, I guess, the ad segment of the stream. I'm gonna take a sip of my beverage. I always feel so awkward trying to, like, self-promote. Even though, like, who cares? This is my channel. I can self-promo if I want to on my own channel. It's like, of course I can. But I still feel funny doing it, even though, like, again, I think it's this feeling of, like, not being allowed to do things, even though, like, who cares? Anyways, even if you don't want to buy things from me, if you're considering getting like gifts and cool things, I wholeheartedly encourage considering if it is with, if obviously only if it's within your means to do so, but if it's within your means to do so, to support like independent artists and small businesses and that kind of thing, with your monies, because like buying like a single like handmade wooden spoon for like £8, or no, that's quite expensive for a spoon. I don't know how much a handmade wooden spoon would be. Let's say £6. I don't know. Will mean so much more to that like small independent artist than buying the same thing when you add it up with shipping and whatever on like, I don't know, Temu. Um and again, obviously like there is no it is entirely whatever is within your means is fine, but if you do have it within your means to support a small business, and there is a small business that does the thing that you want to get, I encourage, maybe giving that a bit of a look, a bit of a little looksy, and considering to do that. Anyways, that's my ramble. I hope you liked it. I don't know. Um okay. I'm actually going to ever so slightly brighten this blue. Ever so slightly brighten this blue for another layer of it, but that's a little too. If I add a little smidgen of you, yeah. Okay. I don't want this one to be that much darker, but I just want to give it a little bit of extra zhuzh, as it were. So I'm just gonna zhuzh them. I'm just gonna zhuzh them with a little additional sort of glaze of blueness, and hope that it looks cute. The one thing about darkening things down is that there's always the worry that I'm going to lose my pencil lines. Like, I'm not going to be able to see them when I'm done. Which, kind of need to be able to see my pencil lines. Because otherwise I don't know where to put my lines. But thankfully I also took a picture before I did this. So if it dries down and I can't see my pencil lines no more, I can just look at my reference. Like, it's fine. But yeah. I feel like adding this extra bit. Now, I don't think I'm going to glaze this one with any more color because the gooseberry is quite a light color. I want to do it kind of weirdly for the cloudberry, because cloudberries have a quite interesting coloration to them, which is going to potentially be kind of difficult to do. I really want to try and fix this blackberry, because blackberries in and of themselves are quite dark, but also because the coloration of it just looks really weird. I don't know if I just had too much water, like, on the palette when I initially put that paint down, and it just decided to sit really funny. I don't know. But I'm combining these two to try and make a nice sort of blackberry purple. But hopefully I can do something that has a little bit more depth, but also maybe just kind of fixes it a bit. Because I'm kind of not loving the kind of weird texture, especially around the edges of this blackberry at the moment. And I would love for it to look just a little bit nicer and kind of less broken. If I could make it look a little bit less broken, that would be frankly hecking amazing. So let's see what we can do. Okay. Now I've kind of skipped the bit right in the vicinity of the toe beans just there, but I will hopefully be able to go back in and kind of and redo that in a second. I just really don't want to, I don't want to stop doing this yet. Because sometimes when you start painting and then you stop painting and then bits of it start drying and you're painting over it, you end up with these weird sort of like seams in your paint job, which I'm already kind of seeing, and I don't love that. I'd love to try and, even though it's all the same color, it ends up sitting kind of weird. And I would love for it to not sit weird ideally, so trying to do this really fast, which is a little scary. But hopefully it'll end up being cute. Or at least less cursed would be a good starting point, I think. Because this bear got a little bit cursed, I think. Yeah, I feel like that already looks better. Yay! There is a bit of a seam here, so I might just blend that out a little bit and hope that I haven't ruined it again. I'm going to go back in and also add some like berry-ish texture, because as we know, some of these berries are made out of little like, I don't know what the word is, but like little clusters, little spheres of berryness. Little, I don't know, circles. Well, not circles, spheres more like. You know the ones. Anyways, there we go. Honestly, I think that looks way better. So, I'm very glad I did that. That is a marked improvement, I think, on the blackberry. The blackberry I still think looks the weirdest and the least great of all of them. But it's a bit more functional now, which is good. Anyways, I'm gonna take a sip of my tea. Oh, Biddle Boy, that's stone cold. But that's the thing about making something like a jasmine tea. I don't mind jasmine tea that's cold. Delightful. Mesh says, just applied for another position where I don't feel like I meet half the criteria, and yet you did it anyways. And honestly, I'm proud of you, because they lie about those things apparently. And you won't know until you apply, and they give you an interview anyways. Because it turns out they lied about that. I don't know. Anyways, I don't wanna go on a ramble about like weird job interviews I've had in the past, but I will mention 2 job interviews that I've just remembered. So there was this one job interview that I had for a position. Honestly, at this point in my life, this is many, many years ago, at this point in my life, I was just looking for something like stable that I knew that I could do. So I applied for this role. I ticked every single one of their boxes on the job spec. And I felt reasonably confident about it. I got into the interview, and I was interviewing with the man who was like the head of this department. He felt like a very sort of like old-fashionedly kind of traditional kind of fancy workplace man, if I can describe him in that way. And I think I read as, despite being like, about 30 at this point, I think I read as very young to him. But he was like, and do you have experience of this? And then I cited all of the ways I've done that previously. And, in my last role, I did this, that, and the other. And I was able to cite like specific examples of ways that I'd done all of the things that they were looking for. And then at the end of the interview, he was like, okay, now this job is a grade, whatever. Would that be a step up for you? He says very condescendingly. Meanwhile, I'd been working on like a contract for some time in a grade above this job. I just wanted a steady job at this point. But it felt so condescending that I was like, I clearly met and exceeded all of the expectations for this job. And then he asked if it would be a step up. And I was like, no, I didn't get the job. Wow. So yeah, that sucked. But that was also, it was a clear example of, I don't want this job, so I'm glad you didn't offer it to me. Gumby, hello, welcome in. Lovely to see you. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. How are you doing? Oh, please ramble away, says Mesh. Maybe it'll make me feel better, the annoying process I'm in at the moment. I don't know if it will, but I hope so. Yeah, so that was a fun experience for me. But that was a very, very long time ago. A very different chapter of the life of Twitch user Sammy Kelsch, it has to be said. Which I'm happy to be out of. But around the same time, I also had an interview for like a contract doing something in like some kind of education department. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something to do with like doing like education and training work with people in this field. And the interviewers were so bizarre. They were like, "Do you have any experience with databases?" And I was like, "Yes." Can you be more specific about what kind of databases you had in mind? Like, do you want to know about like a specific database? What type of database? What kind of data are we talking? I had a lot of questions about what they meant by databases, and then I cited like a number of databases that I'd worked with and the kind of things that I did within those databases. You know, these are the kinds of reports I had to generate. This is the kind of information that I logged in those databases. Yada yada yada. They couldn't tell me anything about like what is the database system that your organization uses. I am interested to know about what database it is. There's a good chance that I haven't used that one specifically, but I've probably used like a number of similar ones. They couldn't tell me what the database was or what it did. But when I didn't get that position, when they gave the contract to somebody else, they cited, I didn't have enough experience with databases. And I was like, what do you mean? It was like that the episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns is putting together a softball team from like professional Major League Baseball players. And there is the one guy, and he keeps telling him to get rid of his sideburns. And the guy is like, what are you talking about? I don't have sideburns. And he's like, the sideburns that are right there, get rid of them. And the guy ends up like shaving his entire head because he doesn't understand what Mr. Burns means by sideburns because it doesn't make any sense. That's what it felt like. Anyways, yes. Hello, Gumby. Samantha says, I hate, are you proficient with insert program here questions? Like, what sort of proficiency do you mean? What parts of the program do you want me to use? Yes, exactly. Tell me what kind of thing, what kind of use are you talking about? Because, you know, like, I may have been using Excel for years, but I may have been using Excel in a very different way to someone else with a different job who uses Excel, for instance. And I know that I certainly have. There was a job where it was one of those jobs where like they have you do a task and then interview you, and I knew that I did an absolute crap job at the interview because the task had me use like a very specific bit of like software or something that I had not specifically had to use in similar previous roles. And so because every piece of software, has its own doodahs, and I didn't have 30 minutes to like get to know how you do things using this specific software, because previous places I'd used the same function of software, but a different brand of it. I couldn't just easily do that, and I think I probably beefed it a bit, and I was so annoyed by this. Because it's like, the likelihood that you're going to have more candidates who've used other similar programs, but not necessarily like the specific one that your organization has purchased, is pretty likely for a lot of things. You know, less so with like, do you know how to use Microsoft Word, but like other like the more like niche specific stuff, it's just like Gumby says I work in tech, so I can relate so much to this. It's so annoying. Anywho, I want to give a little bit more vibrancy to this beautiful little cloudberry situation I've got going up here. So I'm gonna do that. But I do want to also give it a bit of a blush, because some cloudberries do have a bit of a blush going. So I'm gonna try and get good balance of cloudberry colors in here if I can. I probably didn't put enough paint on the palette, but I'm just gonna once again go as fastly as I can. And hope for the best. I mean, they're looking real cute. They're definitely looking real cute. I love that for them. Gosh, cloudberries are great. They make a nice jam. Wow, I tried to add a bit of a blush across its back, and I don't think it's really done that much. So I think what I might also do, I'm going to try and blend this out. But what I might also do is actually pick up a little bit of the red and mix a little bit of the red into this. And then just see if I can just get a little bit of a nice luminous bit of blush up top. Oh, that's it. Maybe up onto his ear. And that's it. Yay! Okay, I feel like that looks much more cloudberry-y. I like that. Hey, Tals, welcome in. We have ourselves a cloudberry. I hope you like it. The berries are taking absolutely ages to get done, but I'm just trying to, you know, use a lot of care and consideration in the application of colors and vibes on these little creatures, because I want them to look cute. But how are you doing, Tals? It's lovely to see you. Welcome on in. Hello, hello. I've got some tea. It's very cold. I'm gonna guess that my matcha now is also cold, therefore. I mean, it's been like an hour and 45 minutes since I made these, so are we really surprised? No. Oh, good lord. Almost did a spit take. Almost spit took my matcha just now. Because Gumby said we gotta bear with them and be berry patient. Oh my god. I think that's the closest I've ever been to doing a spit take. I'm so glad I didn't do a spit take. Thank you, Gumby. That was very fun. Oh my goodness. I am surviving the cold, says Tels. I'm so glad to hear that you're surviving. Speaking of, I'm going to put my cardigan on. It's been sitting on the back of my chair, but now I am cold because my hot beverages have cooled down and I do not have the thermostat running in the house to save gas. Oh no. Oh no. Brr. Okay. That's better. Ha. Please don't die. That's not good for your health, says Mesh. I'm trying my very best to stay alive. Don't you worry. Doing everything I can in that regard. And I would say generally it's going okay. Okay. So I'm going to start painting in some noses. We'll see how I feel about the nose colors. Yeah, that feels all right. That feels appropriate for a cloudberry. I'm gonna do probably a little sort of purple gooseberry color for the gooseberry's nose. as well. So let me just make something and we'll see how we like it. Oh, there was a little bead of water on the ferrule there. We do not want that. That little bead of water on the ferrule is troublesome and will mean a bad time for your piece. Oh. Like, I'm sorry, but that's kind of cute. I think that's a cute little guy. I hope you like them. Oh my goodness gracious. Gumby is banned from making puns today to protect Sammy. Thank you. I'm okay. I'm okay. I didn't like aspirate any liquids or anything. I'm all good. Ooh, Gumby says I made coffee in my French press today and completely forgot about it. Oh. I normally let it steep for a max of 10 minutes because I like it strong, but this pot has been in there for an hour. Oh, that might be a little over-extracted, Gumby. I mean, you might be able to revive it, but that might be a little over-extracted. I don't know. I'd be lying if I said that I've never done similar, in fairness. Because I super have, like, for sure. Yes. Okay. I want a slightly purplier purple for Blackberry nose. Because I think it would be cute. Oh, geez, I was right. It is cute. And then I'm going to need a slightly more subdued down color for, because Blackberry is the only bear, I believe, who has an open mouth. And so I'm going to need to color that in as well. There we go. Oh, beans, it's cute. Can't actually tell if the mouth is slightly open or if they're just sticking out their tongue. It could be either. Blackberry is a wild card. So it's coffee times coffee squared now, says Mash. Oh my god, yes, basically, yeah. Might as well go all in, I suppose. I think that coffee does reach a certain point at which you have extracted all of the flavor out of the coffee grounds that you are going to be able to get out of them. Like, there is a point of maximum extraction, after which point your coffee is just over extracted and it's not going to get any worse. But it's probably reached that by an hour, I think. Ooh, also, speaking of coffee, I yesterday saw a video from weird coffee enthusiast James Hoffman on YouTube, who's doing this thing where they have worked with a whole bunch of roasters in different countries all around the world and each like coffee roaster has taken a quantity of the same coffee bean that has been, they have just the coffee bean in and of itself, just regular old coffee bean, and then a sugarcane process decaffeinated version of the same bean, a Swiss water process version of the same bean, decaf, and a carbonic maceration decaf version of the same bean. And they have roasted all of these to the same specs, and you can buy them from a roaster that is near to you, and do a little like tasting at home and then report back your results. It's basically a big research study into like what is the actual difference between these different decaffeination processes and how does it affect the coffee that you end up with at the end. And I think that's really, really interesting. And so I found there was a roaster in Bristol, which is not too far from me, who was taking part in this and had some bundles for sale of this coffee. And you get like, I think I think maybe like 100 grams of each type of coffee, so you can make, like make them according to the same specs, and then do like a cupping and compare. And I'm quite excited. I'm quite excited to actually do this little taste off, because this is exactly the kind of thing that really excites me about things like coffee and stuff, is like actually being able to see like demonstrably what is the difference between this coffee as like a regular caffeinated coffee, the same coffee with the same roast as a decaf via various means. Oh, I can't wait to find out whether or not they all taste exactly the same, or they're different. Whomst knows? I'm stoked. So yeah, that's exciting. It also wasn't very expensive to take part, which is nice. I think honestly it's just covering probably the cost of like doing it for them. So yeah, I will report when I have like when I have them and I've tried them. I will report back, because I'm genuinely very curious. My moderator slash spouse is home, everyone. I'm gonna go quickly say hello. Hi, sunshine. Is that right now? I'm gonna get changed. I'm sorry. That's awful. Hopefully. Don't like, take care of yourself, okay? I love you. I'm glad you're home. I think there's some water in the kettle if you want to make yourself drinky doo. We should do that. I love you bunches, sweetheart. That's my moderator slash spouse. He's home. Yay! Gumby in the chat says, James Hoffman is fun. I'm glad he's big enough these days that he's pretty much making coffee documentaries. Yeah, I think they're fun. I like learning things about coffee. It's a good time. Mesh says Gumby will not sleep for 10 days. I mean, I will say, if you've left your French press for so long that your coffee is basically like... If your coffee is thick, don't drink it. For sure. Yes. Gumby says, someone created a YTP of stuff called Hames Joffman, where they created unhelpful summaries. I love that channel. That channel is great and very fun. It's very silly. Anywho, if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, I will try and remember to pop a link to the channel in the Discord. I have a Discord, by the way. It's here. You don't have to join if you don't want to, but it's a quiet place and we have fun. But anywho, I'm gonna keep painting in little nosies, because that is also fun. Okay, I want to create a nice little sort of anthocyaninic hue for this little schnoz, if I may. I don't know if there is like an adjective which means contains anthocyanins, but that's what I was just trying to say. Aw, heck. Aw, shoot. Okay. Anyways, picking up some red. There was just a nice thick glob of red in the palette there, so that's good. Let's make a nice messy little nose pink. I think the nose wants to be pink. If any of these things look like they're not very well defined, don't forget they will be getting like line weight and stuff, which will really help with that, I think, as well. I'm going to color in these toe beans as well. Actually, I don't want these toe beans to be too dark, so I might just blot that out a smidge, because that's a little bit bolder than I was aiming for. That's good toe bean color. That's a good toe bean color. You want a nice subtle toe bean. What's up, love? There has not been any post today. We were supposed to receive post today. I specifically requested that they deliver post today, and Yeah, now that you mention it, they didn't deliver the post today. For crying out loud. Well, I suppose I don't know when I'm getting those things. Brownie face. Is that a bag of Doritos Cool Ranch? No, no. It looks like it. Oh, okay. Technically, it's the UK. So is that a bag of Doritos Cool Original? It's because they think that the UK doesn't know what ranch is, which may be true actually. That you can buy ranch dressing in like the supermarket these days. You can get like supermarket own brand ranch dressing. So, and I can confirm right now that when we were back in Canada, one of the things that we learned is that my partner really enjoys the taste of ranch dip. And I didn't actually realize that you could buy ranch stuff here in the UK. So like I I I specifically um uh I specifically like went out and bought like packets of ranch dip mix from the supermarket before we left Canada so that we could bring it home to the UK and make our own ranch dip. And then it turns out that no, actually you can just buy like bottles of ranch dressing at like Tesco. So I didn't need to do that. Oh well. I mean, it's no bad thing. I look forward to making our own ranch dip. We can make it like really nice and thick. Use like Greek yogurt or something as like the thing that binds the seasonings together. Um, Samantha says, I'm from the UK. I know what ranch is. It is a place you can keep horsies. Oh, and we do love horsies. Oh, speaking of horsies, I need to tell you guys about like, so I've been, okay, I think I've mentioned this on stream before, but in the last few weeks, the advertising that I have been seeing on Instagram specifically has just become like increasingly unhinged and deeply irrelevant to me. For instance, I have gotten some pretty AI looking pictures of t-shirts and other merch being modeled by very fake looking people and their pets that say things like um will what is it, it's something like after I'm raptured, please look after my, and then there's a picture of whatever like animal their pet is. So the first one I saw was, after I'm raptured, please look after my horse. But then they had other ones like, please look after my chickens or my dog or my goldfish. And I have questions about this. Like, number one, does that mean that your horsey, you don't think your horsey is gonna like get to go to heaven? Like, maybe I don't really understand any of this stuff because I'm not of the right like religious bent. I mean, I'm not religious at all, but I just found it really baffling that it was just like, oh, please look after my horsey after I've been the raptured. Like, what? Like, I'm sorry, all horsies are good horsies. What do you mean that they don't get to go to heaven? Like, no. That sounds fake. Likewise, dogs. I mean, it's right there in the name of the movie. All dogs go to heaven. It's right there. I mean, is it really paradise if you don't get to hang out with your horse? I don't think so. That sounds terrible and crappy. Like, I don't mean to poke holes into other people's beliefs, but also... one moment, please, chat. Hi, Sunshine. What's up? Can I give you a hug? Oh, maybe I'll have him. Anyways, Samantha says, why do you even want to be raptured by a god who would leave your beloved animals behind? Yeah, exactly! Do they not deserve paradise and happiness forever? I think they do. I think if such a thing were to happen, I feel like at least all of the pets should get to go to the more than the people. Cause as a whole, like as a species, I think I generally probably prefer dogs and horses. You know, for one thing, none of them voted for the Tories. Anyways, um, not to get into like heated religious debate here because that's not the kind of stream that this is. I just thought that was such a funny product to exist. I and the fact that the fact that something in the Instagram algorithm thinks that yes, we should market this to you is their marketing algorithm is broken, and I'm okay with that because frankly I don't want it to know anything about me. I mean, yeah. um Listen, I'm not here to like not respect anyone else's beliefs. Like you do you, absolutely. And I will do me. Um but also I would feel really sad at the idea that I just get vanished off of the earth and my horse is still there. Like honestly, I don't know how independent horses are. I don't know whether or not like a horse left to its own devices will just find some place to take naps and eat food. Like I would guess that probably, you know, they've got long legs, they can kick, so they're probably good.
It depends on whereabouts they're being kept. If they're in a little stable in like Chipping Norton
Yeah. Anyways, so bears, but berries. How about that? Um, okay. I think we can start doing some like texture and shading and line weight and figure out how the heck I am gonna do the texture because I am singularly very nervous about that. Because some of these, how like am I gonna do like the texture for all the little baubles on these guys? I don't know. I feel like it's not gonna look enough like a berry if I don't, but is it gonna look weird if I do? I'm watering this right down and just having like a little bit on the end of my brush, and I'm gonna just try. I'm gonna just try to make that into a little circle and see if that looks at all acceptable. I do want it to be fairly light. I don't want it to I don't know, I don't want it to look weird, you know? I don't want it to look weird, but I do kind of want it to look like a cloudberry. Struggles. We'll see. We'll see. I think if I can make it very like subtle, it'll probably be best. So I will try and keep it nice and subtle. I think that's probably the answer. But if it looks bad, then, you know, this was just a fun exercise and it doesn't really matter. It's all good. Okie dokie. Happy little circles. Anyways, I'm gonna take a sip of my very cold beverage now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that topic of conversation was weird. So let us move on. If I can't finish this tonight, I might just finish it off stream because there's probably not enough to warrant doing it. Giving it another stream. It's all right. Anywho. Okay, I think this is kind of working. I think this is kind of working, but I honestly have no idea. I'm just going to keep on keeping on and keep filling in bits until it feels like it is a... I don't know, I feel like it looks weird. I think I'm going to finish this and then we'll do a quick little BRB. In any case. feel like the face section has real potential of looking weird. Um, so hopefully it doesn't. I don't know. I just the bears have to look like berries. That's the whole point of this goofy little exercise. So here we are. I think it's kind of working. I think it'll work especially well when we've got like the full when we've got the full like thingy situation. Line weight all over the place. I think will help as well. So yes. I think we're doing okay in that respect. Anyways, what's y'all's favorite berry, chat? Do you have one? And if you do, what is it? Is it a cloudberry? Is it a is it like an obscure, very regional berry that I may not be familiar with? I'd like to know about them. There's if you've ever played Stardew Valley, you'll know that there's like salmon berries in that game, and I didn't fully realize that salmon berries were like a berry that exists in real life. I did look it up and I was like, oh, that's a thing. Cool. Now I'm sad that I can't get them where I live. Because I can't get them where I live, and that's very sad. I mean, it might not be. I have no idea if salmon berries are delicious. They seem to mostly be available in like the Pacific Northwest, if memory serves. So it's likely, unless I decide to like specifically go visit the Pacific Northwest, it's not something I'm really probably going to get to be able to try. And you know what? That's okay. Probably blueberries fresh in the blueberry bush on a hot summer day, says Tals. That sounds so good. That sounds so nice. I would love that. I'm just putting some like striation lines onto this gooseberry because that's something that they have. And I think it would be cute, and I think it also gets across the idea that this is that gooseberry looks so good. What the heck? I love this gooseberry so much. I think it's really cute. Oh, jeez. Just gonna plop another one just sort of down that leg. And give a couple of these a little more weight. Just to balance it out. Oh no, this is a gooseberry. I think the gooseberry might be one of my favorites. I do love a gooseberry, I really do. They're not as common here as some others can be. But I do really like them. I like a gooseberry jam. Especially if it's like green gooseberries, I think I like a jam situation best. But gooseberry jam on a nice blob of gooseberry jam in the center of a Hungarian style pancake, also known as a palacinta. It is a kind of crepe. Gooseberry jam, roll it up into like a nice little cylinder, and enjoy. It's one of life's greatest pleasures. Very, very enjoyable. Uh-oh. Sorry. Oh no. I just did a very loud sneeze, so I'm really glad I was able to mute before the sneeze happened. Because that was real silly. I think I might do the texture a little bit differently on this one. I don't know how this is going to look. But instead of doing in all of the baubles, I'm just going to kind of suggest that it's bobbly. If that makes sense. I think that might work quite well, actually. Or at the very least, hopefully it'll look playful. And if it doesn't look playful and it looks really bad, we can just pretend that this never happened. And that's okay too. And this might end up looking terrible, actually. I don't know. But, well, listen, I tried something. Because this is very weird to do. I might end up taking this back and just fixing. Oh, jeez! Huh. That was the doorbell. Babe, can you get it? Thank you. Oh, let's get that. Suggestive baubles. No, not suggestive. Anyways, I'm gonna quickly BRB for a minute. Because I don't know what's happening at the door. So I will see you shortly. Enjoy the BRB screen. The postie's been, and I didn't think that they would deliver this late because it's almost 7 p.m. But I guess they do say that we expect to deliver before 7:30. It's just that normally in my neck of the woods, it's much more likely to receive a delivery by around like 1 in the afternoon at the latest. So that was a surprise. Um, but the good news is, yay, postal delivery. Also, I've decided to just fill in all of the little bobbly bits on this because having done a bit of this, I feel like it'll look better. Anyways, I see that Casa is back. Welcome back. Casa says I forgot to tell anyone I was going anywhere, but I'm back and showered. Oh, nice. I'm clean and non-smelly now. Highly recommend. Wholeheartedly agree. I do like. I see that Sledge says it's overrated. Hello, Sunshine. That's my moderator / spouse for anyone who isn't aware. He lives here and we are married. Anywho, gazillion out of 10 do recommend. Marriage is fun. As long as you marry someone you love, of course. But anyways, I was, I've been, I don't know how it's happened, but like algorithmically, I have been sucked into the exciting world of advent calendar reviews on YouTube, and I'm honestly really enjoying it, just watching people open all of the doors all at once. And then, you know, like giving their thoughts, because honestly some of these advent calendars sound really really bad. um like I think when was it feels like it's within like the last 10 years or so that advent calendars went from it's just a thing where behind every door is a piece of like either slightly naff chocolate or if you're lucky the dairy milk, um to it's an advent calendar but behind every door you get a new pair of socks or you get a can of beer or you get my advent calendar for the last like 5 years running, I would say, is you get some tea every day. And you know what? These are all real fun, I think. But additionally, I think some things work better as advent calendars than others probably. And some things perhaps less so. I don't know if this is gonna look weird, but it's a blackberry. It's got to have the little bobbly texture. So that's exactly what I am doing. Anyways, but yeah, I've been watching some, and the difference between some advent calendars where it's like, I think there's the advent calendars where you get it for like the experience, and then the advent calendars where you get it for like, you know, you're going to get value for money in terms of the amount of things that you get versus the price you pay for the calendar. But some of them honestly seem like so disappointing in terms of that. Like certain things that I feel like an advent calendar is going to be really tough. Like things where you're not likely to either you're going to end up with too much of like a whole bunch of little sort of like chintzy doodads and trinkets and stuff that you don't need. Like there was a Swarovski did an advent calendar last year, I think, that was a collaboration with Disney. So it was just a whole bunch of like very expensive, because I think the calendar itself was like 1,200 pounds or something insane. So these very expensive like Mickey Mouse ear Christmas tree decorations, and it's like, who needs this? Who wants this? That's so expensive. you know, for that I would expect to get like a number of like pieces of jewel, and I think people were generally pretty disappointed by it because it was a whole bunch of like Christmas tree ornaments that looked like little like Mickey Mouse silhouettes and what have you, and it's like, how many of these do you need? You're going to use it once a year and you're asking me to drop 4 figures on this calendar? No. You know, I would expect to receive like some, for that price, you know, like a couple of bits of jewelry, like, you know, a few necklaces, some earrings, maybe like a bracelet or something. I don't know what kind of jewelry people are into wearing. Because literally the only jewelry I really wear on the regular is my wedding ring. I own a single string of pearls that I like to wear sometimes, and I have two jade necklaces that are very like special and personal to me. And that's it. That's the complement of jewelry that I wear on the regular. I bought a backup ring once when I forgot my wedding ring at home and we were away for the weekend and my hand felt naked, so I had to go to a jewelry store, spend like £9 on a ring so that there was something on my hand so everyone could see that I'm married. Because it was gonna bother me if I didn't. The bear will have multiple teeth, says Casa. No, not that is not what they are. So this is an advent calendar, but behind each door you get a new world to be isekai'd into. Ooh, see, now that would be worth £1,200 potentially. That would potentially be worth £1,200. I see the vision. Cassis says some of the American luxury cosmetic ones are absolute rip-offs, like Gucci, Chanel, etc. They cost hundreds, and they're mostly just logoed trinkets and cosmetics the size of free samples. Yeah, it's like, oh wow, this cost £500. What's behind door number 2? Oh, it's a sticker with the Gucci logo on it. Wow, this probably cost them 50 cents and came from AliExpress. You know, it's just like, come on. UK and Korean based ones seem better value, says Casa. It is genuinely the first one of these videos that I saw. It was the how much you had to spend. It was like free, but it was one of those things where you have to buy it with like the points that you accrue from having an account with a shop. So you would have had to spend about 2,000, I think, American dollars to be able to redeem this in the first place. And it was just full of like the cheapest like dollar store looking stuff that nobody wants. It's just like this is just plastic tat. This is just plastic tat. I don't like it. But yeah, I get an advent calendar that is full of tea every year. And every year I know exactly what I'm going to get. I get 2 tea bags every day for 24 days. Is it expensive for the amount of tea that you get? Yes, it is significantly better value to just buy a box of tea bags. I am spending money for the sake of experience in this case. I am enjoying the experience of getting to try a whole bunch of different teas. And being surprised by what they are. That's fun. But I can also see like certain other things where I feel like I would be annoyed if I got a whole bunch of like surprise stuff that I didn't like perfumes and that kind of thing. Like if I dropped hundreds on an advent calendar that had a bunch of perfume bottles in it, and it turns out that I don't like most of them, I'm like, okay, well now this is just a waste unless I can find someone to give this to as a gift. I just have a perfume that I don't like. Whereas with the tea advent calendar, you know, like it costs not that much money, and if it turns out, oh, I don't like this particular tea because it's got licorice root in it, well, you know, I'm sure I can find someone to give this one licorice root tea bag to. You know, or just bin it. And it's not that much waste. Like, it'll compost. It's fine. Cassie says, Mr. Sammy should buy you, like, vegetarian Haribo gummy rings on a daily basis. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, Casa, I don't think he's ever bought me Haribo gummy rings, but he did buy me a bag of Peppa Pigs when I was feeling a little bit under the weather a few weeks ago, so, and I'm still enjoying those, and they're very delicious. So yes, suffice it to say, I am well taken care of by my person. Anyways. Um, but yeah, advent calendars. I mean, they're legit. There's advent calendars for everything. And I honestly don't know where it came from. Because I feel like, I feel like for most of my life, advent calendar was just like you get a bit of chocolate. There might be a little picture on the inside of the door. And it's like, oh, what is it today? It's a picture of a snowman. And the chocolate is sort of embossed with like a picture of a little wrapped gift. And it tastes like pretty naff chocolate because it cost like £1. um, Samantha says, surely an advent calendar full of free samples should be free. Oh yeah, absolutely. If everything is sample size that you would otherwise just receive for free, why are you paying so much money for it? And apparently a lot of these are like sample size things. So that should just be free. If you would normally get it for free, it should be free. Samantha says, more companies should do that. A free sample advent calendars, have a 24 wide selection of tasters, and then after Christmas, the sales start and you can buy more of the ones you enjoyed. Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, I think that's the joy of doing an advent calendar like that, is where it's potentially an opportunity to try out new stuff, and you might keep using ones that you genuinely enjoy, which is cool and fun. But also, do you really want to spend, hundreds on that? And test out a bunch of stuff that it turns out that, oh, I don't like this after all. Well, damn. This was a very expensive, disappointing experience. Yay. Love that for me. But yeah. Oh, I don't know. But, it has been interesting seeing these advent calendar reviews. And also very nice because, like, I'm not gonna buy any of these, and I'm nosy, so I still want to know what's in them, even though, like, I'm never gonna spend money on these. I buy the same advent calendar every year. I know exactly what's going to be in it, but I don't know what variations of those things are going to be in it, because I know it's going to be tea, because I always buy the tea advent calendar. It came from capitalism, says Samantha. Yeah, I think someone started doing an advent calendar of something unconventional, and people realized there's money in this. Adults enjoy doing advent calendars, but they want to do advent calendars for things that aren't just a square of dairy milk chocolate. They want to also be able to do advent calendars for things like, oh man, if you've ever seen, if you know the Ashens channel on YouTube, he and, what's his name? Nerd Cubed do an advent calendar countdown review thing every year, and they will try and find weird advent calendars. They did a cheese advent calendar. That was a disaster, and they both hated it. They've done other things as well. Like, there was one that was like, it was all about like some kind of car, I think, and you would get little pieces to like build a little like car diorama or something, and some of it was real bad because since it was all forming like a little play set or diorama thing, sometimes you would get a day and the day would just be like a little cardboard standee that looks like some like foliage, and that's your day. Like, how unexciting is that? But yeah, Samantha says they can just put a whole bunch of cheap stuff behind the doors and sell it off at a premium because it's packaged as a Christmas thing. Absolutely. I feel like for a lot of companies and businesses that put out advent calendars, I think some of them genuinely put like their hearts into it. But some of them it really feels like it's just, okay, let's just find any old tat that hasn't been selling very well and put it in an advent calendar and then jack up the price, which is the opposite of what you do with things that you want to, get rid of. Case in point, hello, I'm trying to learn how to market myself better. ! Shop in the chat. I recently did a shop update, and one of the things I included in the shop update is a mystery bundle. The mystery bundle contains 2 art prints and a sticker, or maybe a sticker sheet. It might be pieces that I painted a couple years ago and had way too many printed of for the time in my, sort of burgeoning artistic career. Or it might be newer stuff that I just think you'll think is neat. And a random sticker from my shop that I think you will think is neat. Um, and possibly other gubbins if I feel like just giving you other things. And the way that I'm doing this is I'm making it less expensive by a significant margin than it would be if you were to individually buy all of those things. Because otherwise it's not worth it for you. But as a fun surprise, it's pretty affordable. And also, I can promise you, none of the things I would give you are things that I genuinely don't think are good, because I wouldn't sell things that I don't genuinely think are good. I'm not selling cheap tat, I'm selling, like, stickers with sparkly mermaids on them. I don't know, maybe, probably a lot of people out there think that this sucks, but I think it's cute and cool, and I hope that you think it's cute and cool too. Look at them shine. Look at them shine. That's neat. That's neat, and I'm pretty proud of the way that this turned out. So I hope you like it. And yes, advent calendar for a billionaire. Before behind each door is 51% stock in a different company. Oh my god. Samantha says anyone who thinks that sucks is objectively wrong and has no taste. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, there are some extremely limited edition Hollow Knight art prints in the update as well. If you are a Hollow Knight enjoyer, that's a thing that we have. I can't tell if the baubles look cute yet. I think it'll look cuter when I've done all of the line weight and stuff. Right now it looks really weird, but that's what these guys look like. I don't know. That's just what they look like. I need to get a look at some strawberry seeds so I can get a good seed color. Because I think I will do seed colors. Oh yeah, also, I did mention it up top as well. I have one extra super special limited edition Blue Raspberry Fight Milk Hollow Knight art print. It is extra super special because it also is foiled in gold, so it's shiny. Because I wanted to capture the like little spores floating around in the fungal wastes, and Cloth is off on an adventure, and so I originally painted it with gold paint. And so I decided when I wanted to do a print of it that I was going to get it gold foiled, which is the first time I've ever had a print foiled. And it looks really cute. And I'm very happy with the way that it turned out. And I hope that y'all like it. Because otherwise, I've got a whole bunch of prints taking up space in my studio. But anyways, I will say that once again, the Hollow Knight art is all like strictly limited edition in as much as when they sell out, they don't get reprinted. So if you like want any of them, I would try and get them before they sell out, because I don't reprint these. So yes, that's the thing. And I do hope that you like them. There's quite a few now. And I hope they are cute. Anywho. I think, okay, what does it... Okay, yes, no, I don't want to order strawberries off of Ocado. All of these pictures are... Did I accidentally open the shopping tab? What the flip is going... No, I don't want... Just show me pictures of a strawberry. What does the strawberry seed look like? Alright, the seed is kind of like... It's kind of yellowish, so I'm gonna try and get a really potent amount of yellow on. It's probably gonna look weird painting it on top of the red, but whatever. We're gonna try. I'm not sure how covered in seeds the entire thing is gonna be, but I'll give it a go. We'll see how it looks. Okay, I think that's a reasonably thick amount of paint. My delusion is that Sammy would reprint one of the Hollow Knight arts just for me, says Mesh. Well, in fairness, there is quite a few of them that haven't quite sold out yet, so you don't have to delulu. You can enjoy any of those if you want to. Obviously, no pressure. I know I'm talking a lot about like my shop and stuff because I just updated it, but like no pressure. I hope no one feels like they are obligated to like want to get stuff from my shop, because like you're not. I'm just happy that you're here, but also because it exists, I want to let people know that it exists. Okay. Anyways, Samantha says, are you aware that the Norwegian name for blackberries is literally bearberries? Is that what inspired this, or is it just a cute coincidence? It is, because in our Discord, someone, I think, I don't know if she's still here, but if Aoife's still here, I think it might have been Aoife, posted a picture of a strawberry that they had gotten in their, you know, punnet of strawberries, I assume, that was shaped just like a bear. Um, and from that spawned me sketching this little guy. And from that spawned me drawing the rest of these guys. That's why it exists. Um, anyways. So that's why that happened. Yes, I did know that the word for blackberries is bearberries, which is very, very, very cute. And I don't feel... I think my Norwegian pronunciation is probably Garbo. So I'm going to go to translate and see if I can get it to say it for us, because I don't trust myself to be able to say it correctly. Because again, my Norwegian pronunciation is absolute boo-boo garbage. So I don't want to I don't want to offend anyone. I do try. I really do try. But I don't necessarily do great. Okay, I'm going to turn up the volume and hopefully you'll be able to hear this.
Bjørnebær.
There we go. That's probably better than I could have done it. And now you know. Sammy tells me to take on crippling credit card debt for their art. Got it. Please don't. No. Like I said earlier, like, you know, I encourage people to support small businesses if and when it is within your means to do so. Please, please, please. Please, please, please do not put yourself into any untenable financial positions for my artwork or anyone else's. Likewise, never feel like you are obligated to like sub to the channel or anything like that. You are not. It's fine. I very much appreciate anyone who does, but I don't want anyone to put themselves into like potential dire financial straits for that. Like, please look after, please, I realize that Mesh was joking, but I also just want to reiterate, like, please, please, please make sure that your needs are taken care of first before supporting, like, other people financially. Okay, thank you. You should do a run of Blackberry Bear stickers specifically to market to Norway. That's not a terrible idea. I'll need to learn how to pronounce it better. Hold up.
Bjørnebær.
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 Bjørnebær. Okay, I feel like I'm getting there, but also bad. Also possibly Denmark, because I'm given to understand they have the exact same language. They pronounce everything completely differently. Completely differently. For instance, I don't actually know if the word for blackberry is the same, but strawberry I think is the same spelling. I think it's the same spelling. So this is the word for strawberry. It looks like that. It is spelled exactly the same in Danish. In Danish, it is pronounced jordbær. In Norwegian, it's pronounced
Jordbær.
So I don't know what to do with that. And the country that I've been to out of the two countries is Denmark. So my brain, when I see words that look like Danish, I want to pronounce them Danishly as best as I can. For instance, jordbær. Anyways. Mesh says, not gonna lie, if we all sub to the channels that we'd actually want to sub to, we'd spend like $200 each a month just on the subs. Oh my goodness, I am following way more channels than I can afford to be subbed to. I am subbed to a very... Notwithstanding, like, the occasional incredibly generous gift sub, I am subbed to a very select subset of channels, and significantly fewer than I would love to be able to. So what I've done here with the strawberry is just kind of give it some little freckles that look like little strawberry seeds. I think that's cute. I hope that's cute. I'm gonna add a couple more. I think I want to add some just like here maybe on their little arm. And maybe just a little ones on their leg there. Okay, I think that'll do. I think you get the idea that this is a strawberry. He's got the little seed. He's got little freckles. Oh, if it's okay. That was really fun. So I think that's all of like the detailing and textures and what have you that I was hoping to do. So I think I might actually call it there for today and just finish the rest of this off stream. Because there's not that much else to do, but I really need to go cook some dinner. I need to remember what the hell it was I was going to cook tonight. Oh, yeah, I'm making pasta e ceci, so that'll be nice. I have this a jar of chickpeas that I've had in the cupboard for a while that's been waiting for a very special meal. Specifically because I love these. They are called... It is a jar of queen chickpeas. I assume because they're quite large in size. But when my moderator slash spouse first saw them, he thought it read queer chickpeas. And so now there are queer chickpeas, and because they're the queer chickpeas, they're special, and I love them. So I've been saving them for a special occasion, so I'm making a very, very nice dish of pasta e ceci today to honor our queer chickpeas. Because I'm normal like that. Anyways, this stream was weird, and thank you so much for hanging out with me throughout it. I've had an incredibly nice time hanging out with y'all. Thank you also to everyone who has supported the shop update. I really appreciate it. Like, if you even want to just, like, share my social posts about it, that really helps. But obviously no pressure to do any such things. I'm just happy that you're here. We are going to do a little raid. Who shall we raid today? Let's go say hello. I'm just gonna make sure that this person isn't just about to finish because that would be silly. LGBT. Oh my god, thank you. That was beautiful. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Let's take a look and see. Oh, okay. Are you just about to finish? I can't. I think they might be just finishing. Okay, hold up. Let me find a different channel to raid. One second. It said they were live for it. I thought it said they were live for 3 minutes, but it turns out they've been live for like 3.5 hours. So, what's this? Oh, somebody's doing some cute little artworks. Okay, fun. Let's go say hi to Nemeza. And I shall pop a generic raid message in the chat for y'all. And I shall thank y'all for hanging out with me today. It's been a quiet stream. It's been a weird stream. I've been real rambly, and I do apologize. I'm going to pop a kiwi in there, because, you know, a kiwi is a kind of fruit creature. So it feels on brand for us doing fruit creatures all day today. There's your generic raid message. Thank you so much for hanging out today. I'll be back tomorrow morning doing some celebratory Hollow Knight. I am still celebrating having 1,000 followers somehow. And we're going to do some silly stuff for that tomorrow morning. So that'll be a lot of fun, hopefully. But in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. I hope you have a wonderful evening. It was lovely to hang out with y'all. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a good time zone. Good night, and good luck.